Welcome back, guys. As you can see, it's perfect cigar weather. Overcast, rainy, wind, jeans and t-shirt weather outside if you're a fat guy like me. I got my cigar, cup of coffee. I'm ready to rock. This is one of those coffee cigars from Java. It's really good. I mean, I love cigars. I love coffee. So if I can do double trouble at the same time, why not? But I know you guys didn't come here to watch me smoke cigars. Let's talk about militias. Will I support the militia? It's a good question because what the militia has become convoluted, right? There is a constitutional definition of what a militia is. And this is really important. I'm going to link everything in the description box below for you guys. But it's important to understand that there is a legal term for it, constitutional term for it, and there's what everyone else on YouTube and on social media claims a militia is. So, with the Constitutional Convention of 1787 and Article 1, Section 8 United States Constitution, the control of an army and power to direct the militia of the states was congruently delegated to the federal Congress. And the militia clause gave Congress the authority organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States of America. And the states retaining authority to appoint officers, get that point, authority to appoint officers and impose training specified by Congress. Proponents described a key element in the concept of militia was to be genuine and not to be a select militia composed up of unrepresented subsects of the population. So good, man. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that the way the Constitution has set up what a militia is supposed to be and represent is it's not supposed to be its own thing, right? It's not supposed to be a bunch of guys in the woods with guns that shoot and are subservient to nobody, right? The officers are supposed to be appointed by a duly elected official, right? The governor, attorney generals back in the day, or general governors, or whatever they called back in the day during, the Civil War era, American Revolutionary era. So they're not supposed to be subsects of the population that are completely unchecked by any governing body or authority, right? That's what a militia is. Every militia, any famous militia, any famous general that was in the militia that we have in history was always appointed by somebody. And they were always under the control of an elected official. And so when we look at this from a logical standpoint, all this talk on social media about, patriots having to come together, and the militia needs to come together to fight whoever it is that they're planning on fighting, I think is very, not only disingenuous, but very highly unconstitutional and very illegal. I mean, I'm just putting it quite frank to you. I can tell you in my state, and I will go ahead and link. I'll put this picture here in the video for you guys to take a look at. So as we can see clearly, right? We see clearly that in my state, the governor, in his and or hers power invested in holding that office, can appoint generals for the militia, and that's their duly elected job title to do. So, with that being said, saying that you support a militia that is duly appointed by the governor is essentially saying, by supporting them, it's like saying you support the military, right? Because they are duly appointed by some kind of congressional process. That is totally legal within the Constitution of the United States of America, right? So you have two different kinds of militias, right? You have the organized and unorganized militia. Organized militia is what we commonly refer to as Army National Guard. And the unorganized militia comprises of men and women between ages of 18 to 65 or whatever it is for your specific state. And they will be under the authority of the governor based upon the appointment of officers in charge, right? That's very clear. So saying you support the militia is essentially like saying you support the military if it's duly elected and it's legal and everything is going through the process. So saying I support the military because the militia would be under the military. Yeah, I support the military, man. I have served the military. Shoot, 14 years, over 14 years. So yeah, I support the military, man. I do. Thank you for your service. Thank all of those for their service. Present, prior, present, and obviously the future service members that decide to take on the mantle and give their oath of affirmation to the Constitution of the United States of America. I think it's awesome. But with that being said, outside of that, I don't know what other support I'm supposed to give the military, right? Because when they're appointed, they are going to be retrofitted and they're going to be given supplies and they're going to be given resources from the military. As they have in history. Like we've seen in history. We have seen that. It is the job of the government to make sure that their assets, military assets, are taken care of. So outside of saying, thank you for your service, military, I don't know what other support I'm supposed to give. And that's where the real interesting partition in this conversation comes, right? Because we have the militia as defined by Constitution, as defined by the legalities of it. They are under the control of the military. They are under the jurisdiction of the governor. Or if they are nationalized from the president, they will be under the direction of the president, as we've seen in Civil War, Revolutionary War, that kind of thing. So outside of that, like I said, I'm not sure what support I'm supposed to give them outside of the legalities of the support which they are entitled to by the Constitution. And that's what makes it interesting, because most people that are talking about militias aren't talking about legal constitutional militias, right? They're talking about a bunch of guys with guns that have no authority to anybody that plan to do really sketch things, illegal things. And the Third Amendment gives me protections from not being forced to quarter troops in my home. So yes, I support the military. I think a lot of people do. I think most people support the military. But do I support a bunch of yahoos that have guns that think they're going to do some stupid shit? No, I don't. And I'm not going to give them material support. I'm not going to give material support to a bunch of hooligans that have no oversight. Why would I do that for? Right? The militia and the military, they are supported by the government. My taxes are taken out and given to the government. It is not my job to give them material support. And so this is where the real interesting paradigm comes into play here, okay? I know this is going to be controversial, but we have to talk about it at some point because everyone, they have already started the conversation. That's really good, guys. And that conversation is this. We've seen in history very bad things happening when there's no oversight. Very bad things. I mean, even in the Civil War, we saw Union militias go down into the South and take complete cities and go through, burn farms, take resources as they saw fit. That's what they did. We saw that happen, right? So if you want to know who the real marauders are, right? If we're really talking about who are the marauders when the shit hits the fan, Teotihuacan, raw situation happens, it's going to be these groups of people that consider themselves patriots that have no supplies that are going to be going farm to farm, raping and pillaging. We've seen that in history. That is a historical precedence that is well documented. We know for a fact that happened in the Civil War. We know it did. There's no question that happened. Now, you can make up whatever excuse you want. You can say it was the enemy. You can say whatever you want. I don't give a shit, because at the end of the day, it happened. It mattered. And right now, we see a political divide where you see there is no organization. There's no legal precedence for militia action, right? Because the governor and the powers that be have not designated officers as part of the militia. And if there is, correct me and send me the link. Send me the link of a militia that's currently activated right now by the governor or any duly elected body, because that is a commission. That is public knowledge. Let me know. But nobody is going to be able to show you that. It doesn't exist. So what you're talking about is a group of people who are going to grab arms, private citizens that are creating their own organizations that have no citizen oversight, and I'm expected to give my hard resources and preparations for my family, my friends. I'm supposed to give it to them because they think they have some good cause. Nah, man, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's up to them to prepare. If you are a organization of people that wants to be prepared for whatever the hell it is you're trying to be prepared for, good. Do your thing. But I have no desire, and I have no legal obligation or obligation period to give you shit. I don't. And I'm not going to take food out of the mouths of me and my family and friends to give to you so you can go on some illegal escapade. I'm not going to do it. Because at the end of the day, those that would go, people that want to claim the banner of militia that would go farm to farm, homestead to homestead, house to house, they're just going to be acting criminally. They're going to be acting outside the Constitution. They're going to be acting outside of the Third Amendment. No, I support people that support the Constitution. I rose my hand and I made an oath to the Constitution. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to uphold the Constitution. And I would hope that every American citizen upholds the Constitution. But as you can see, there are a lot of people out there that claim to be patriots, claim to be, for the Constitution, that will act outside of the Constitution. And it should be no surprise when they are dealt with heavy-handedly. That's just what it is. And so I think it's important for people to realize, and for you to realize, viewers out there, what it is that these people that claim to be patriots are actually talking about. Because there is so much misinformation going out right now. There is so much misinformation out there right now. It's mind-boggling. It really is. It's absolutely crazy. And unfortunately, right now, conservatives, I don't think conservatives know what's going to happen next. I don't think they, as a party, I think that it's obvious that conservatism is so scrambled right now that there's no real plan moving forward. There really isn't. There isn't. You ask any conservative, well, what's the plan moving forward? They don't know. They don't know, because we are now in this position as Americans where you have to decide, what is it that you're going to do? And if the answer is, well, I just want to be left alone and raise my kids and all that stuff, that's great. But that's not a plan moving forward. That's not. And so what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing these groups that are going to start to form and start to do some very, very bad illegal shit. And what's going to happen? We already know what the news media is going to do. And I want to say you heard it here, folks, which is sad, but you're going to see the news media paint these illegal operations and organizations with a wide brush of conservatism. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see, man. It's sad. I don't know what else to tell you. We know what we need to do, right? If you are somebody that believes in rule of law, if you're somebody that believes in the Constitution, like everybody says they do, like liberals say they do, like conservatives say they do, if you really do believe that, it's time to get prepared. It's time to get sustainable. It's time to get localized. It's time to go to your city, to your cities, attend city council meetings, and it's time for you guys all to get on the same sheet of music. And that's going to require you to get active in the political process on a local level. I'm just telling you the exact same things that the left has told their people for a long, long time. The left is really good at organizing, and they're really good at coming together in localized events. They are. And anybody that says the left is not good at that obviously has not been watching the news and obviously doesn't care about the truth. Because the truth is the left is really good at localizing. Which is clear. Donald Trump won 84% of the counties in this country. Biden won 16% of the counties in this country. Well, how is it that Biden was elected? Well, at the end of the day, he has the population density. Liberals know how to get local. They know how to localize. And so once liberals start to pour into other parts of the country, Oregon's already leftist, but a lot of people liberals from California are going to Oregon, they're going to Washington, Texas, Idaho, Oklahoma, Utah, Arizona. They're good at getting localized. So wherever their ideology takes them, they will go into those local areas and they will get localized. That's what they're going to do. And if you think, and this is the problem, conservatives want to give the responsibility of the mantle to somebody else. Somebody comes out and says, hey, I'm going to stand up for you. Like Trump has and like all these other politicians that claim that they have, right? I'm here to speak on your behalf. Conservatives say, well, I have a family to raise. I want to be left alone. Okay, take care of it for me. And guess what? Nothing's getting taken care of for you, is it? So, I don't want to make this too long. I think I've already showed the legalities of what a militia is. A constitutional militia, as set forth by our founding fathers, is going to have a set authority over it. And in most states, and every state, it's going to be the governor. The governor is going to elect and appoint the officers in charge. That's what we're going to see. That's what happens. Anything outside of those legality parameters as set forth by the Constitution is not a legal militia. So before you start getting crazy, before you start saying you're going to start supporting all these different ragtag private organizations, be very careful. Be very careful, because rest assured, one of these stupid fucking organizations is going to do something really fucking dumb, and guess what? They're already going to paint a broad brush with it. The last thing you want to do is be caught into something that you were lied to or that you were made to think was legal or good, and get caught up in that nonsense. Because believe it, it will be dealt with heavy-handedly. It's the truth, man. So, there you have it. I know a lot of people are going to disagree. If you were one of those militia-type peoples, let me know what I got wrong. Like I said, I have the Constitution in front of me. I have the legal documents in front of me. I understand history. I understand how, the militia is supposed to work from a historical aspect. I understand how it works in the legality of the law and the Constitution. As somebody who serves in the military, I 100% support the troops. I 100% support the military. Without equivocation, I do. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Just like the left claims that they believe in, the right claims they believe in. We all claim to believe in the Constitution, right? So yes, I believe in the Constitution. I believe in rule of law. But rest assured, there is a legal process and a legal precedent to go through. And a lot of what I'm seeing is not only very illegal, but it's very dangerous. And if you want to know who the marauders are going to be, historical precedence has made that very clear. It's going to be wolves in sheep's clothing. or in this case, sheepdog clothing. So get ready, because as we've already seen, there's so much misinformation out there. There's so many different conspiracies of people to do crazy, stupid shit. So don't get caught up in that crazy, stupid shit. Be smart. Be prepared. Be localized. All right. That's all I got for you, man. Hope you guys liked the video. Disagree with me? Leave me a thumbs down. Articulate your position in the comment section below. And as always, guys, as always, long live the Republic.